the CEO of WPP, the world's largest advertising company, who will be speaking to, of course, Yossi Vardi. Round of applause, please. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mark. Thank you very much for taking 20 minutes from your busy day and be with us here. You are now 10 months in your new job, right? You are now the CEO of WPP, which is the biggest advertising company in the world. Actually, probably in the universe, until we will find the life in other places. And you are number one, which make you actually the top baboon of the advertising industry.
Now, you have to, I don't know where this is going, but I'm a bit nervous at this point.
I'm not going to ask you what I told you.
Okay.
But really, what is the feeling to be at the top of a whole industry? What is the total value, business value of the industry?
It depends what you've used. The biggest number, I guess, $1 trillion industry.
$1 trillion industry.
In terms of advertising spend and marketing.
And you are number one.
Well, not personally, but WPP.
WPP as a whole. How many people are in WPP?
So we have about 135,000 people around the world today.
Which you pay their salary?
Not personally, but our clients do.
So every first of the month, you wake up with the encouraging thought that you have to provide 130,000 payment slips.
There's a lot of things to worry about, and that is one of them.
How many subcontractors, affiliated, etc., and partially owned the company? How many people in addition to the 130,000?
Well, I asked that when I started, and no one could actually tell me the answer. But we have probably, depending on how you think about it, 12 to 15 major companies, but about 300 or 400 brands around the world. So everything from Ogilvy to Mediacom to Wavemaker to AKQA to Essence. So, a very broad range of sort of communications and digital.
How long you are with WPP?
Well, I was there and I left and I came back, and I guess I came back 16 years ago.
16
the value
years
of staying in one place for a long time.
And a year ago, before you got the new job, you got the new job in September, I saw your hair was all black.
And now, there's a lot going on, Yossi. So, but I look back at photos when I thought I was grey and I had dark hair. So it's a long and gradual process. So.
Now I have to ask you a question before we go to the... You had a nice life. You had, I think, 7,000 employees, 12,000. How many employees you had?
When I ran Wonderman?
Right.
Yeah, we had about 10,000 people.
10,000 people. You got a very good record, otherwise they wouldn't nominate you. And life was nice, etc. Why did you need another 200,000 employees?
That's
what is the added value?
A question my wife and children ask me on a regular basis. I think, look, life, you get out of life what you put into it, don't you? And opportunities come along. WPP is the most amazing company, and why would you not do it? Now we have our challenges.
Tell us about WPP and why it's the most amazing company and what you want to do with it.
Well, I'll show you. So we set out this vision in December for WPP as a creative transformation company, and I think each of those words are important. Creative is important because we are in the business of ideas and innovation and growth, what this festival is about. Transformation is important because that's what clients want, and we want to be a company so we can act as one. And what I do is show you a film we put together that tries to capture some of the spirit that we want inside WPP, and interestingly, uses a lot of footage from Stream, which is an event that Yossi and I have worked together on for the last 11 or 12 years. If you show the film, maybe we can talk a bit about it after that.
You want to show the... Okay, good.
There we are.
Thank you very much.
So you even get a starring role in it.
Yeah, I saw like 2 microseconds. And you didn't get from me a release.
We haven't paid you any money, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. You already signed the release.
I signed the release? Okay, maybe. Mark, these are changing times.
Yeah.
The advertising industry is changing. It's shaped totally. You know, it's totally different from what it was 5 years ago, and definitely from 10 years ago. It moves digitally. It becomes more technology-based, etc.
Yeah.
How you are going to cope with these changes? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities?
So I think some things are the same, and some things are the same, and some things are different. What's the same is, I think, ideas are what matter in the world and resonate with people emotionally, right? You watch a film, it hits you emotionally. How you reach people is what's changed, and that's what technology has changed. And our industry is no different from any other, you know. And I think that what we have to deal with is what all our clients have to deal with, which is how we grow. I mean, when I look at our clients, the only sets of clients that are really growing are technology companies, you know, Google, Facebook, Amazon, etc., or luxury goods. You know, LVMH, Chanel, really strong luxury company. Everybody else has challenges. They have challenges finding growth. They have challenges keeping up with consumers. Have challenges with innovation. And I think that is what we need to help our clients do. So we need to remember our core strength of really understanding consumers, really figuring out how to create things that they want, but also learn like a whole set of new skills. Dancing elephants, is that the analogy?
What is roughly the percentage of your income now derived from digital-related whatever?
So one thing we've done is we've tried to ban use of the word digital at WPP.
You don't say digital anymore.
No.
So what is the percentage of things which are not analog?
Well, you know, that's the point, isn't it? Because we don't live in a world which is sort of analog and digital. We just live in the world. And if you come up with an idea, you don't come up with a digital, well, you don't write a newspaper and say, well, today I'm going to write the physical paper, and in the afternoon I'm going to write the digital paper, right? And I think we have to have ideas that resonate everywhere, and we can't have that fake separation between analog people and digital people. So we want to talk about technology. So I'd say, if you said to me how much of our work is driven by technology...
I have a very good question
Yeah.
for you. How much of your work is driven by technology?
More than half, yeah. Well, more than half. I'd say now close to 2/3 of our business.
Good. Let me ask you another question. We will come to it. By the way, in the audience, who in the audience work with in a company which has more than 100 employees? Raise your hand. Who work in a company which has less than 100 employees? Raise your hand. So we have here about 20% of the people, companies over 100, about 15 under 100, and about 75% who ask themselves, what this fat guy want from our life, or something like this. They don't relate to the questions. But nevertheless, we have in the audience a lot of people who work in small companies. And small companies today are a good source for innovation, for this industry and for other industry. How do you relate to small companies? How you collaborate?
So, well, I think we have to be, well, I think two things. One is we have to be a big company that acts like a small company. You know, we have 4,000 individual offices in our 130,000 people, right?
4,000 physical different locations.
Not locations. We have actually 1,600 different physical locations, if you can believe it. But we have 4,000 different like P&Ls or offices.
Okay.
So each one roughly 30 people. So we're really a confederation of lots and lots of small businesses, probably too many. So we have to be part, to answer the second one of the question, we have to be part of this ecosystem. You know, I would want, everyone here with a great idea to come to someone at WPP, me, and in my old job I spend a lot of time, with Yossi and others looking for great ideas, come to us with ideas. Now, the challenge we face is how we, work with people, scale the ideas, connecting with our clients, but that's what our clients want. Our clients want access to innovation, ideas that's difficult to do in big, sadly difficult to do in big companies. I wish it were easier, but it's not easy. And that's why the startup world is so exciting. And I think it's great actually for the UK, it's great for the economy to see so many people starting new businesses, taking the initiative. I wish I'd done it when I left university in many ways. So no, I think big companies also have a role, obviously, but we need to be a big company with the heart of a small company, and we need to work with startups as much as we can.
So we need you now to give your email address, so anybody who wants to talk to WPP will be able to...
Yeah, you can... yeah, mark.reed@wpp.com. Now, I can't promise... I will reply to all your emails. I can't promise all of you a meeting, but...
you wrote it down, mark.reed@wpp.com. I tried to send email to this address and it bounced.
No. Not how, no, it's READ as well, not anything else. So, what I learn from is time I spend with clients and time I spend with startups. And, too often you get to the top of a big company, you sit through too many budget meetings and board meetings and other things. And actually, I need to free up more of my time to spend on this than I can do. And we've been talking about how at WPP we have a much more kind of coordinated meetup program around the world and many things we can do, which we should do.
Good. You mentioned that you have a lot of P&L centers, etc. There is unending debate. Should you consolidate and centralize organization, or should you create a kind of distributed responsibility? Each mode has its own advantages and own disadvantages. I think historically WPP was kind of a collection of fiefdoms. How do you see what according to your view is the optimal organization, and how you drive the company together?
Well, I don't think I think you still need P&Ls to know who's doing well, who's doing badly, where to invest, where not to invest, what's growing, what's not growing. But I think we need to have a common culture across WPP. And I think you saw in that film, we started to define our culture open, optimistic, and extraordinary. What I'd like WPP to be in our industry what LVMH is in luxury goods or Disney is in the entertainment business. I'd like that to be in WPP. And it means we have strong brands, by the way. Just like Disney has brands or LVMH have brands, we can have a strong Ogilvy, we can have a strong Wunderman Thompson. People will really understand it. But there's something in common across those companies to do with creative excellence, understanding of technology, quality of the people, the way you manage the business, and frankly, their ability to work together. And I think culture should drive collaboration, not financial rewards, if you need to pay people to cooperate, I think we've got things like the wrong way around. I think good people can be naturally cooperative because they have confidence in their ideas and they're willing to share them. And I think that's kind of the type of culture we need to build to get our clients what they need, which is really fantastic ideas that live across all of these channels.
A few minutes ago, you say something very interesting. You say that you believe that today advertising should stand on two legs. One is the traditional emotional reach to the heart of the user, which you can do with TV ads and other creative means, but to identify to whom to show this content, you should use more and more digital,
technology.
Data, I can say.
Yeah.
It's also,
you can use data, yeah.
You use data, okay. So you should use data and technology in order to know how to reach. Now, it seems that the traditional advertising industry is under threat of people who are trying to come into this industry from the data side. Some new players which were not in the creative side ever, and doubtly if they do understand the creative side. But how you face this threat?
So I think advertising, marketing is a creative problem and a technology problem. And I think if you think it's just a technology problem, you're just going to throw stuff at a wall and it won't stick. So I don't think it's pilot high, sell it cheap business. I think we need to have ideas that resonate with consumers, and we need to understand how this is it's not an either or, it's an and problem. And that's what we need to get right. The people that have sliced and diced audiences too much, it just gets too much.
Okay. Let's talk two sentences about China and the United States, which you mentioned to me before the discussion.
I think for us succeeding, I don't think we're a British company, and I don't think we should be a British company. We happen to be headquartered in Britain, and I think we should be proud of that, but we have to be a global organization. And the two markets we need to succeed in are the US and China. And part of the fantastic inheritance I got was our business, I have to say, in China and in India and in
China,
Brazil.
WPP entered quite early, I remember.
Yeah, we had our first board meeting there in 1987. We have about 12 or 13,000 people in China. We have, I think, 11,000 people in India, 7,000 people in Brazil. So we have really big businesses in critical markets for the future. And we're working with sort of Western companies succeeding in China, but increasingly Chinese companies coming out of China. And I think for all organizations, the US is where the scale is, and China is where the growth is. Now, the good thing is in London, we're kind of equidistant between the two to some extent. But I think that how we, just to be sort of brutally frank, what we need to do at WPP, we need to grow the business in the US. And we need to take advantage of the opportunities that are ahead of us in China. And I think, I saw a presentation the other day is what Western marketers can learn from China, because this idea that, China is sort of catching up with us, it's totally the reverse now. We were working with the big US retailer last week who wanted like an in-depth examination of Chinese super apps. And I think if I were a Western marketer, I'd go on a rapid induction course to understand really what the future is in China. Restaurants where you order through your phone, where you pay on a barcode, where it's massively leapfrogged us. And I remember, for years and years, you'd see those charts in presentations that had like ad spend, and it would always have television at the bottom, television, print, magazines, outdoor, internet. And in China, it goes, well, now goes digital, I'm afraid, but mobile, mobile, TV, print. That's where they start. And it's not let's start with TV and fill in some digital. Let's start with mobile, which is the device, frankly, where everything happens, and we'll go from there. And on that device, lots of the traditional skills, are sort of less relevant, but still you need to capture people's imagination, don't you?
Unfortunately, our time is running out very quickly. Before we conclude, one word about Europe. What is your vision about Europe?
About Europe?
Europe.
Well, I wish we could stay together, will be my personal view. And I think that, it's going to be quite a bumpy ride to the end of the year, unfortunately.
And how you see the future of the industry in Europe in the forthcoming years?
Well, in what? Industrial Europe?
Advertising.
Advertising in Europe. Look, I think, we're neither the US nor China, but I think we have strengths. Certainly London has a fantastic startup industry, as, by the way, does Berlin, as does Paris today, as does Barcelona. So I think that the kind of innovation hub of the economy is in these big cities, which is fantastic. I worry that London will kind of lose relevance over the next few years. We have strengths in financial services, innovation in financial services, so I hope that we maintain that. And, we should have all the support we can from, government and others. It's not really a government problem, it's down to people, really. So I think encouraging people to do this is the most important thing.
Okay, last comment.
Comment or question?
No, comment. I would like to congratulate you on the high rate of approval you got in your general meeting. Other than Castro from Cuba, I never heard about such a
North Korea.
North Korea.
Yeah.
North Korea, Castro, and Mark Reed. Now, this, I think, was really a very good congratulations for you in your new road and new assignment. And we wish you success, and thank you very much. And we would like to ask you to come again next year to continue the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Reed.
Thank you for listening. Thanks, Yossi.